Yo, today, very important video. I'm calling this a very important video because I think now guys are fucked up. If you're a guy and you're not getting results with girls, it's 80% likely that it's because you're too nice and you're too polite. I know if you're a guy and you're new to dating, you're new to the concepts of what would make women attracted to a man, you're watching this video, you're listening to me talk and you're like, what the fuck is this guy on about? I don't know why, for some reason, recently, the mainstream narrative of be a nice guy, be polite with girls, don't make waves, do what you're supposed to do. Like for some reason recently, guys as a collective started to believe again, this is the proper way to get girls. Whenever I go online, whenever I go on Instagram, whenever I read at any comment under any video, whenever there is a guy talking to a girl, or whenever the conversation comes to dating, I see always one thing. Guys being afraid of doing what works with women. I'm pretty sure deep inside, in the back of your mind, at the bottom of your heart, you know that nice guys don't get girls. I'm pretty sure that you see it everywhere, that the girls chase guys who actually don't give a shit about them, and that the guys who are polite and nice, well, they just get left unseen. I'm pretty sure that if you consider yourself a nice and polite guy, this happens to you all the time. You talk to girls, they seem interested at first, and they talk back and forth for a little bit, maybe a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, and when you go and you try to make a move and you believe all the lights are green, girls disappear. Does that sound relatable? Again, if you're like most guys, this is relatable because I know this is your daily life. You barely meet women, and whenever you do, those girls who seem interested, they disappear whenever you try to make it romantic or flirtatious or you try to make a date happen. And even then, when you do go on a date, well, those girls, they have a good time, they are having fun on the date, but after the date, either they tell you there was no spark, no chemistry, they don't really want to have a relationship right now, while 1 week later you see them date another guy. Why did this guy do that you didn't? By the way, well, more about that in this video. Or, well, you go on a date and the girl is having a good time, but whenever you try to make it more than friendly, she pulls back. Why does this happen, my brother? I'm going to tell you all about it in this video. Maybe you've seen the other videos on the channel, especially the shorts recently of me going up to girls and being totally unapologetic about this. I see it like every other day I get a comment from some guy telling me that I'm too much of a dick, or that there is no way that being forward the way I am can work with girls. Bro, it does. It does. If I told you what my reality with women is like, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it's even possible. If when you watch me talk to girls in my other videos, you think I'm too much, you think I'm too rude, you think I'm too much of a dick, it's the exact reason why you are stuck. It's the exact reason why when you talk to women, they are having a good time, but after they tell you there was no chemistry. You gotta understand that being a dick is what creates chemistry. As long as you stay in the polite, nice guy, provider bucket, you're going to end up getting ghosted by women. You've got to understand that what creates attraction between a man and a woman, it's this tension. This is what people call sexual tension. It's this social friction. The fact that you try to avoid the social friction is what removes the sexual polarity, the sexual tension. Now, it's very, very difficult when you're an average, normal guy to understand this. Everything in society is going to try to push back on you, to shun you, to bring you down whenever you try to create any kind of social friction or social tension or sexual tension. In truth, it's a problem because it is what works. And let me go even deeper on this. People are going to push back on you when you create sexual tension and sexual friction because it makes people uncomfortable. That's a truth, that's a fact. And that's why you feel uncomfortable yourself being a little bit of a dick when you're talking to girls, because you know and you expect other people to feel uncomfortable about it. Now, I'm going to tell you exactly why you feel uncomfortable about it, okay? It's not because you are an agent of chaos. It's not because you're a weirdo who's being sexually forward and aggressive with women. No, it's because at the core, in terms of human psychology, a guy who creates social tension, social friction, sexual tension is a guy who holds up a mirror to everyone. When you create sexual tension, you are literally reminding everyone around of their own ability or inability to reproduce. I know how it sounds. It's kind of vague and kind of obvious at the same time. But the point is, when you are obviously creating sexual tension and social friction, it makes people uncomfortable because it gets them to realize that they can't or that they are afraid. And so people are going to think sexual tension and sexual friction is weird, not because it's weird in itself, but because it brings them back to the fact that they themselves are uncomfortable about their own sexuality, about their own ability to create something romantic, flirtatious. You gotta understand that it's something that's deeply ingrained into the way humans evolved. When you bring people to the fact that they can or cannot reproduce, it's scary. It's simple, I understand. It's so simple, it sounds like it's not possible. What I'm telling you here is that whenever you do what you need to do with women to make it work, it's going to create discomfort in others. Not because it's bad, but because you're holding up a mirror towards them. When you are from the outside and you see a guy doing what it takes to attract a girl, you can't help but ask yourself, do I know how to do the same? Am I able to get women? And it's this question that makes people uncomfortable. It's not the fact that you're not polite. It's not the fact that you're too forward. It's the fact that you're simply holding up a mirror towards other people. Honestly, if you want to have a good time, look at the comments I get on some of my shorts. You will see the most NPC, no offense, but you will see the most NPC people telling me that what I do is rude, or I'm being a dick, or I'm being so forward that there is no way it can work with women. And honestly, that's 50% of the reason why I'm making this video. This is an open letter to all my haters, but at the same time, this is also to show you that what works with women is not obvious. And even further than that, what works with women is actually gate-kept by people who can't get women. Not because what you're doing is bad, but because, again, understand that it's just about their insecurities, about the fact that they are not able to do what it takes to get girls. It goes even deeper than that, and that's not the point of the video, but you gotta understand that people will do whatever it takes to not see what they can't do, to not see how insecure they are about things that matter to them. In practice, concretely, what can you do if when you talk to women, you see that they are interested at first and then they lose interest? It's very simple, but at the same time, the answer is never something that's comfortable to hear. You're losing girls' interest because you're being too polite, and the interest that you got in the very first place was never actual sexual interest. And here is why it's twisted. It's because the thing that you received from those women that you perceived as interest was not actually sexual interest. It was social interest. They were having a good time with you. They were basically having a good friendly time with you, but they were not having a good flirtatious time with you. So in a sense, it's a little bit of a hard pill to swallow, because if you're in a situation where very often girls are seemingly interested in you but then lose this interest, it's a hard pill to swallow, because you have to understand that those women were never actually interested in you to begin with. I understand. Hard pill to swallow. But once you swallow this pill, you can actually see the truth. Once you accept the truth, you are in a position to see, okay, I understand what's going on. Now, what can I actually do about it? Once you see the truth, you're in a position to say, okay, do I keep coping to feel good? Or do I do the thing that's a little bit uncomfortable to actually get better results with women? Do I keep staying in this friendly, safe comfort zone with women? Or do I learn what it takes to create sexual tension to actually end up being with women who are actually attracted to me? So how do you do that exactly? Well, it's not about lines, but it's more about a couple of mindset shifts. The first one is to totally unfilter your speech when you're talking to women. Totally forget the concept of being polite. You don't have to be polite to get with girls, okay? You don't have to be nice to get with girls. You have to be respectful, of course. Don't go around insulting girls. But at the same time, when insults are called for, you have to not be afraid to throw them. Now, it's very unlikely that when you're in a situation where you have to insult a girl, you're gonna end up with that girl. But bro, I'm telling you, it happens. And it happens more than a guy who's not insulting girls getting with them. I had this happen to me countless times, that girls hate me but still fuck me. I understand it sounds crazy, especially if you're a guy who's new to these concepts, but it happens way more often than girls actually fucking guys who are polite with them. Now, of course, insulting girls is not ideal. That's just an extreme example to get my point across. But adding a little bit of disagreeableness in your interactions with women, very often for most guys, is exactly what they need. I'm not telling you to go to the extreme where you're starting fights with everyone, but I'm telling you to be less nice. I'm telling you to be less polite, because if you're watching this video, if you clicked on this video, it's most likely that's the thing that's holding you back. Which brings me to my next point, next mindset shift. be more disagreeable. I'm pretty sure that if you're in a situation where most of the girls you're talking to ghost you, it's because you are way too agreeable with them, to the point where often you go with what they want over what you want. Women notice that girls all the time see when a guy places their needs above the guy's own needs. Women despise this. Of course, on the surface, they like it. Like, for example, if you want to go to some place and a girl is telling you, no, I want to go to another place, and you go with her first choice, she's going to be happy because she gets what she wants. But how does she think about you when that happens? Well, she's going to clearly see that you go with what she wants, that you're not as attractive as you could be because you focus on making her happy instead of having a shared beneficial experience. And I understand, like, if you're listening to this, there is a way to nitpick, okay? I understand. There is a way to say, oh, but you have to find a middle ground between what she wants and what you want, and sometimes it means making the girl happy. I get it, okay? What I'm telling you here is that you have to tend towards favoring your own needs instead of the girl's needs. Because as soon as she feels that you place her needs above your need because you're being too agreeable, then she's gonna lose interest. It's very hard to accept those things because everything outside, like the mainstream narrative, especially in 2026, is be nice to girls, be polite, if you go your own way or you're a toxic male. I understand it's difficult, but at the same time, look outside, see what works. Who are the guys with the hot girlfriends? Are they the nice, polite guys? Well, yeah, sometimes when they simp and when they pay everything for the girl. But at the same time, you don't want to be a sugar daddy and you don't have to. Look at the guys who are the cool guys with the girls who are totally in love with them. Are those guys very nice? Or are those guys a little bit of an asshole sometimes? Bottom line, I'm not telling you to be an asshole all the time, but maybe 10 to 20% of the time. You will see, try it, girls will react way better. Next mindset shift for you, and that's a huge one and probably the scariest, so that's why I'm putting it at the end of the video. You need to proactively get rejected by women. I know how it sounds, I know it's counterproductive, I know you don't want to get rejected by women, so listen to me for a second. I'm not telling you to create rejection for the sake of it. I'm telling you that when there has to be a rejection between you and this girl, you should force it as early as possible. Because bro, what's the point of having 2 weeks of conversation with a girl, polite conversation, to just have the girl ghost you when you actually ask her for a date? Like, what's the point of waiting 2 weeks when you could surface this rejection within literally 30 seconds when you meet that girl? And I see this very often when I go out with guys who are very new to the concept of success with women. They are very often in this mindset of, when I meet a girl, I need to spend days creating comfort with her. I can't go up to a girl and just ask for her number. I have to be indirect with her. I can't be direct. I have to be indirect with her. I have to ask her to show me around. I have to ask her for direction. Then I have to walk with her for 30 minutes so that she gets invested in me and I create comfort, and then she feels nice around me, like she says I'm a nice guy. Like, no, bro, all you're doing when you're in this mindset is that you're delaying rejection. If a girl is open to meet a guy and she finds you attractive, you can know within 30 seconds tops. You gotta understand that the more you delay rejection, the less time you spend on girls who actually will not reject you. There is no point talking to a girl for 3 weeks to have her end up rejecting you, while you could have met 100 more girls in that span of time. I'm telling you, bro, if you are afraid of figuring out within 30 seconds whenever a girl wants to fuck you, you are spinning your wheels and you're wasting time. And look, at the end of the day, right now, you're probably talking to a couple of girls. Bro, I'm sure you already know whether those girls are already interested in you or not. I'm sure you know, if you ask those girls out right now, you already know 100% who among those girls will say yes and who among those girls will say no. If all of them would say no, bro, it's a clear sign that you're wasting too much time on the wrong girls, that you're being way too nice with girls who don't like you, and you don't need to. At the end of the day, understand that the goal is to meet more girls who can like you. It's not about spending more time on girls who don't like you, because you can't turn the girl around if she doesn't like you. So optimize your time. Don't be afraid to be a little bit mean if it helps you getting laid more, or even without getting laid, if it helps you get better and more relationships. Alright, that's pretty much everything for this video. If you're having trouble figuring out this whole dating and attraction thing on your own, check out the link below this video. You can book a free consultation call with me. I will help out. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, tell me what you thought about this video in the comments, and I will see you guys next time.